First and foremost, I want to ask you why you decided to go through the program again.
I could tell that there were some things I caught the first time, but some things I needed a little bit more time and a little bit more feedback on, or just even more time just to learn more about the scripts and why they're important and how delivery is important about the scripts. So I think it was sometimes I need to just watch things or listen to things 3, 4 times, and you get something different a little bit every time because your focus is different. Like my first time, my focus was just to get an understanding of what was expected of me as an agent, as far as how to present myself, how to talk, how to get leads in a more unique way and things like that, where I didn't have that experience. But that's what I wanted out of this job when I first got my license. So I saw that the first time, but after taking the class, I realized there were other things that I need to internalize, more about the ideals behind the questions that we're asking, so I can understand why I'm asking these questions and what I'm looking for in those answers. Because I feel like I was asking those questions, but not understanding what those answers meant a lot of the time in order to give my client the best experience.
Makes sense.
So that's what the second time around was for.
That's awesome. And so one thing I will say, after you took the program the first time, you did your live listing presentation and you knocked it out the park. Everybody keeps telling you that. And so what's impressive to me about you is that even though you did that so well, you continue to practice. Like I saw you and Bomika getting together and practicing yesterday. And
that's so laid down. It was so bad.
Really, was it?
We tried to sit outside to like not be intrusive to everybody else around us. And the little drizzle started when we first sat down, and I was like, it should be fine. We'll just stay out here. 3 minutes later, downpour. So we go inside. Too distracting inside, too loud. We get back outside. We're like, oh, it's slowing down. We should be fine in 10 minutes. Harder rain. And now we can't even go back inside because now we're stuck underneath the smoke.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And then as we leave, everything clears up. And I'm like, okay, sure.
That's how it works. But I was so proud of you guys to see you putting in the work, because that's what's required. So I know that I have the next round of Push starting up in November, and there's so many people who are like, should I take it? I haven't taken it before. I've heard some things about it. If you had a conversation with someone and they were vacillating on whether or not to go through the program, what would you tell them? Why should they take the program?
I say that you should take the program because there's no downside really. If you're a new agent, you get a little bit more direction as to, again, what's expected of you, and how to present yourself and what people are looking to be asked, so that they can feel like they're giving you all the information so that you can best service them. But even if you're an older agent, not older, but more experienced agent or even experienced in sales or any kind of thing like that, it gives you the perspective of people who are newer that don't have your perspective, and they might ask questions that you may not have thought about in the past 5 years because in your head you're already ingrained. So they might give you that fresh perspective because they don't have that background that you do. So they're coming at it from a whole different angle. So you get to hear that discussion, but also you get to find out what parts of real estate you're uncomfortable with and what parts you maybe want to work on, or find a team member that can handle that instead for you. So like, say you do hate cold calls, maybe you need to hire an assistant to do the cold calls for you. But then the push class will push you to do that. Okay, I have a block about this. I can't get it done. How can I still incorporate this in my business, even if it's not my job to do it?
I hear you.
So I think that there's all benefits to it.
No, I love that. No, that's a really, really good answer there. So, the thing that I'm always working to do, I don't think Push is a perfect program. I don't think I'm a perfect coach. I'm growing, and I'm also working on the program and revising the program to make it stronger and make it better. If there was one thing or maybe two things that you felt I could do a better job at to give you the best experience when you go through Push, what could I work on to make it a stronger program, in your opinion?
Well, I love the incorporation of last time's suggestion as far as doing the live calls this time around. I unfortunately missed that class, but the feedback that I heard from all the classmates as far as that being that encouragement to like, oh, okay, I made a call in class, so maybe I can do this when I'm at home or when I'm in the office. I think that kind of incorporates that idea of this class is called Push. You're going to have to push yourself. And if you can take the entire class and never make one FSBO call, but you kind of forced them to get through that first FSBO call. So like, no matter what happens, your first one's done. And I love that. I love that so much.
Okay.
Anything to improve? I don't think so at this point. I just have I might take it again just because I wasn't able to be as involved as I wanted to this time around.
Yeah.
I feel like, but no, I think that the calls were really good, great improvement, and that shows some real life experience, and that was the best improvement you could have done.
Okay, I love that. So you mentioned the class is called Push, which it is. My question for you is, am I pushing everyone as hard as I need to be pushing?
I think so, and I think it's aggressive enough and gentle enough where you're like, listen, I'm only here because you paid for the class, so I'm going to do what you pay me to do, which
Right.
is to push you, and I'm not going to push you over the edge. I'm not going to push you where I think you can't handle it, but I will push you enough to be like, hey, you're looking for a next step, a little bit of growth, and you only get a little bit of growth, a little bit of a push, and I think you give enough of that.
Okay, love that, love that. And if you were to take Push a third time, what would you want to get out of it the third time?
When I take push the third
Okay.
time,
Okay.
I will hope to not only I know that people say I'm doing well, but I know how well I can do. And it's like I know that I'm not there yet, which is why I'm in a brokerage right now that offers these kinds of classes. Because if I was the agent I wanted to be, it would be reflected in my business as well.
Understood.
So I recognize that there are some things that I need to work on. And I think your class offers, when I take your class, it's such a big chunk of time that I have to be productive more so in the other chunks of time.
Got it.
So even that is like a dedication to be like, oh, well, if I know I have 11 to 1 for push class, I have to make sure I wake up a little bit earlier, even if I'm working at nights, make sure I get my calls in before and after, because I might make some lead gen calls on the way to my next appointment. So I have one appointment to go to before I have to go to work tonight. And it's like, I have less hours in the day. So I have to find ways to be more productive so that when it stops, I find getting that time back is like, oh, well, this is my lead gen time now. So I already have the time blocked out. So it's like, and it's just it's helping me push myself to points of exhaustion, which I got yelled at this weekend. I got told to sit my behind down this weekend. So,
okay. Okay.
but it's in a good way because this week I got that time back from class. So I've been able to close some deals and pick up some extra shifts and just like have a really good comeback after August. So it was I think I need just one more thing out of push, and then I'm hoping
Okay.
I'll find it next time around.
Well, and listen, if you keep practicing with Bomika like you're doing, you're going to continue to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And I just want to wrap the call up by saying, like I mentioned to you earlier, I'm committed to helping you get your first listing. So if there's anything I can do, questions, whatever it is, please reach out to me.
So actually, I meant to tell you the story really quickly
Of
while
course.
I had. So I went, I had a showing up in Phillipsburg, New Jersey this last weekend. And Phillipsburg is right near Stewartsville, which is where I sold my first house.
Okay.
And I felt so bad because she invited me to her son's 8th birthday party and I missed it because it was like around my birthday time. And it was like, I was out of town. It was craziness and I couldn't make it. But I let too much time go by. So that was May and it's now September essentially. And I'm like, okay, you can either let this keep going where you don't have contact with her, or you can just stop by and say, hey, I was in the neighborhood and it's not really in my area, but I wanted to come and say hi. So I was 10 minutes away. I knocked on the door, I bought her a bottle of wine and a little Roblox card for her son. I was like, hey, sorry, I missed your birthday. Here's something for back to school. Like you can still enjoy it after you do all your homework. So a little card for him and like a little bottle of wine for the parents. And she ended up being so excited to see me. She ended up having the neighbor who she just realized evicted all of their tenants. And she's like, I think she's going to sell soon. And I really want you to knock on the door. Because you come back when I know that she's here, I might be able to get you this listing. And I was like, see, this is why I was so afraid to go over. And I'm like, if I didn't reach back out to her, I would have missed that listing right next door to the house I already sold.
Wow.
So I might be having a listing coming soon. So fingers crossed that this works out. If I get to meet with her, I will let you know. If she goes to somebody else, I'll also keep you updated just in case. But my goal is to get that house to be my first listing.
So I hope that happens and you get that listing. However, what you really got from this is we have to be in contact with people. We have to be communicating with our database because it shows when you show up. And you didn't even ask for business. She was like, here, I have something for you. So that what a great lesson for you to learn early on. I love it. Keep me
And I
posted on
almost
that.
sent a text and I was like, I felt bad. I almost sent a text like, hey, sorry. But I was like, no, I'm gonna knock on the door. I want to like her to see that I'm making the effort and I truly am sorry for missing that time with you. So I
Yeah,
want to knock on the door, actually hand her a present. I was gonna leave it on the doorstop and maybe not talk to her.
yeah,
But I was like, oh, David said knock on the door. So let me just knock, hand these things to her, and then be on my way. Not even thinking I was gonna spend an hour talking to her about this next door house.
right. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. You're
Of
doing the
course.
right things. It's just a matter of time. Things happen gradually and then they happen suddenly. So you just keep plugging in, stay disciplined, doing what you know you need to do. The success will come.
Thank you so much. Honestly, I can't
Well,
wait to see what I learn after the third time.
all right. All right. I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you.